Today on Rock the Park, we're in Alaska. Woo! And come face to face with one of the largest carnivores on the planet.
Oh, wow. Look at the size of that one in the water.
That thing's gotta be at least 1,000 pounds.
Hey, bear!
We're surrounded by brown bears, and they're hungry.
We got a bear walking right towards us. We gotta move.
There are so many massive bears here, even the campground is protected by an electric fence.
We may have as many as 75 bears in 1 square mile.
So why are we pitching our tent out in the backcountry?
We really don't have much choice.
It's a wild story, and it all starts now.
Oh, wow, dude!
I'm Jack Stewart. And I'm Colton Smith. We love the national parks.
Oh my gosh.
It's all about packing up a car and just doing it. Just hitting the road. Our goal is to visit every national park in this country. And when you go off the beaten path like we do, there's no telling what will happen next. Wow! Ready for the time of your life? Yeah! Get set to rock the park. Welcome to Katmai National Park on the Alaska Peninsula. In a state known for its wilderness, Katmai packs the biggest punch. There are more active volcanoes here than anywhere else on Earth. 14 to be exact. Katmai contains the largest population of brown bears on the planet. And that's why we're here! Katmai National Park is located about 290 miles southwest of Anchorage, and at nearly 4 million acres, it's bigger than the state of Connecticut.
Let's do it. This is as far as the road's gonna take us.
I don't think I've ever gone down to a dock to get on an airplane.
This will be a new one.
Some people come to Katmai for the salmon fishing, but most come for the bears. We plan to check out the bears in 2 different regions of the park. The first is Brooks Camp. Roy Wood is the head interpretive ranger here and will be our guide.
Oh, there's a bear. Look, you see him right there?
Oh, wow! That is a huge bear.
Can you imagine meeting that guy on the trail later?
No.
It's kind of comforting knowing you've got a body of water in between you.
How quickly you think he could cross over?
It would maybe take 10 seconds to swim across that. If it were to do that, it's not coming for us. It's coming for the fish right down there.
Sure.
Okay, that's good.
Keep going.
And they're actually making us move this way.
They're making
right
us
now.
move because it looks like he is walking right towards us.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We're headed to the elevated platform at Brooks Falls. This is the iconic spot to safely get close to bears in the park.
Look at the size of that one in the water. Oh my god.
That thing's gotta be at least 1,000 pounds. To be this close to these bears that are 3 times bigger than anything I've ever seen before is unbelievable.
In a yearly ritual, more than 1 million salmon return from the sea and swim up Brooks River to lay their eggs. When they run into the falls, the salmon heroically try to jump up and over them, only to be greeted by hungry bears. The same bears return every year.
Down there, we've got Otis. And I asked how long Otis will wait for salmon. Sometimes he'll sit there for 18 hours, just try to catch as many as he can.
Oh,
Otis got one. Otis
All
got,
right.
he finally did it. This is what people come to Katmai to see.
Kind of amazing how these bears can anchor themselves on the top of a waterfall like that. I'm sure if we were stepping on that, you'd easily get carried downriver. And they're basically waiting for the salmon to jump up so it can cross over the falls and keep going upstream to spawn.
Patience and skill pay off for these bears who fish at the top of the falls. They score the most spectacular catch of the day.
Ooh,
Right.
you got one, yeah. Oh,
So does he eat it up right away? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you'll see he goes for the skin first in case he drops it. Doesn't want to waste the fat. Because right now it's not about quality protein, it's about calories.
Yeah, just tearing it apart.
You'll see the fish twitch every now and then.
Still going, yeah.
Oh,
That is unbelievable.
now I feel bad for the fish.
A lot of bears don't like to get their ears wet, so you see a lot of snorkeling. And when they come up, they'll often shake their heads pretty vigorously to get the water out of their ears. And there are a handful of bears will actually disappear entirely underwater, and they're just dog paddling underwater, trying to snag a fish in the school.
Oh, we got.
Oh, yeah.
Brown bears and grizzlies are classified as the same species, but brown bears are bigger because they generally live near the coast where they get more protein.
All bears bulk up for one reason, to pack on the extra 300 to 400 pounds so they can survive up to 6 months of hibernation.
These guys will sit there and eat up to 30 salmon per day. A salmon weighs 4 pounds. It's 120 pounds of food these guys will demolish.
It takes about 1 fish for every day that they're going to be in hibernation. So if you're going to spend 6 months in hibernation, you need 200 fish that you need to have eaten that are just in reserve.
This is 10 times more amazing than any amusement park you're ever gonna go to.
All right, here we go. Excellent.
Bears are everywhere in Katmai, so there are lots of things you need to know to keep out of danger.
If I'm out in the wilderness and I see one of these things, the first thing I wanna do is run. You've got a 900-pound animal coming at you, but what I understand is that's the one thing you do not want to do. Is that right?
Right. Things that run from a bear are generally things that the bear wants to eat.
Yeah, so basically you have to go against every instinct you
Exactly.
If we do encounter a bear, we're told to back away slowly. But one of the best ways to keep from startling a bear is to let it know you're coming. Make some noise. Hey, bear! Bear! Hey, bear! Hey, bear! Hey, bear!
This must be the campground.
It's looking like it.
The campground at Brooks Camp is surrounded by an electric fence designed to keep the 1,000-pound bears out.
Oh, you can hear it popping. I gotta be careful here.
It's all about being safe around these bears. There's even a special place for you to store your food away from where the campers sleep. Free food shelf.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Got
Spam?
some supplies.
Potato? This is what you could
Yes.
use. You could use soap.
We'll leave it for somebody who might actually need it. You see what's nice about this is you've got all your supplies right there. You don't have to lug them around. We're gonna have to do that because we're staying in the backcountry.
Colton and I like to basically just get up and go. Reservations for the campground open in early January, and they book up in about 5 minutes.
Needless to say, we're not getting a campsite here tonight.
Let's go, we gotta get into the backcountry.
Before the sun goes down. Luckily, we have till midnight.
Well, here we go, up Dumpling Mountain.
Even though we know that there's obviously bears out here, we would absolutely not be able to see them.
Hey, bear! Ooh. Don't worry, bear. We want to get to our campsite.
We're in Katmai National Park on the Alaska Peninsula, a wilderness area with more brown bears than anywhere else on Earth.
Unfortunately, we're leaving the nice cozy campground with an electrical fence to go camping out in the backcountry because we forgot to book our reservation.
We're headed to the top of Dumpling Mountain, and it's 9 p.m.
How many miles?
1.5. It's not bad at all.
Hey, bear! Hey, bear!
I gotta say, dude, going up the trail without Roy is a little nerve-wracking, considering the 30 brown bears we've seen today.
Pretty dang scary.
Hey, bear! It's getting a little uphill.
Even though we really haven't been hiking that long and it's raining a little bit out, the vegetation here is so thick that the water just builds up and you get soaked.
Hiking up to our camp, it's 9:30. It's still bright out, and the rain has picked up. It's not the smartest thing we've done.
Even though we know that there's obviously bears out here, we would absolutely not be able to see them if they were right in front of our face.
I know.
Here. Don't worry, bear. Just want to get to our campsite, bear.
Once we find a decent spot,
Yeah.
let's stop.
Jeez. You all right, dude? Gotta be careful. You wouldn't think it, but it is about 10:30 at night right now. I'd say we're a little cold, but it's not deterring us from the adventure, so.
We really don't have much choice, do we?
No, we really don't.
All right, right now it is 11:30. Our 1.5 mile hike took way longer than we thought it would, so that's why we are just arriving now.
As you can see, it was pretty much an uphill battle.
And even though this view is amazing, all we're thinking about is crashing right now, because we've got a big day tomorrow. It's time for bed.
Okay, so it's about 6 a.m. Last night was an interesting night. We were cold, we were wet, the bugs were horrible, as they still are now, and now we have a plane to catch. So all in all, I think we underestimated our hike a little bit. Our plan today is to fly to Hallo Bay, another favorite spot where we can get close up with these bears.
You think we're gonna make it?
I don't know. You know, after the last 24 hours we've had, in Katmai, anything can happen.
And just to prove it, as we're about to board our plane, this guy decides to make an appearance.
We have a bear actually coming down the
beach
right now. So I don't know. Hopefully we're just gonna jump on the plane. But we get out of here. We may have to move. We gotta move. Stay calm. Stay calm.
We just go stand on the top of the stairs here.
Okay.
Bear on beach at Visitor Center Trail. Slowly walking towards the river.
Most of the time it's pretty short, and you know that one evidently has an appointment to keep down at the river, so it's on its way.
And we appreciate that as well.
Once the bear is on its way, so are we. Next stop, Hallo Bay.
Here we go.
But after a bumpy first flight,
We need to switch planes because where we're going, float planes don't cut it. And relate.
and on top of that, our pilot is telling us that we have to get going to beat the tide. What if we don't beat the tide?
We're on our way to Hallo Bay, Alaska, located along the Pacific Ocean on the eastern side of Katmai National Park. 90% of Alaska has no roads, so the only way to get here is by plane.
And this is Hallo Bay International Airport. Yep, it's a beach, and apparently we have to land during low tide, before the beach is underwater.
We made it. If it's all the same to you, sir, you are a tremendous pilot, but I'm more afraid of this plane than I am the bears.
All right, let's get to it. This is gonna be fun.
This is gonna be amazing.
Hallo Bay is one of the best wildlife viewing areas in Alaska. You've got the Pacific Ocean on one side and mountains on the other.
Hi guys, I'm Brad.
Brad is our guide and the head of the camp that we're going to be staying at.
Welcome to Hallo Bay Bear Camp here in Katmai National Park.
Brad says he's got a surprise in store for us, but to get there, it's gonna be a little bit of a hike.
Hallo Bay is a wilderness area, so there's no trails. It's legally protected so that it remains wild.
And so all the trails that we do use are just animal trails, bear trails.
Without Brad, we'd be kind of lost here. We're winding through trees, going down hills, through mud.
Stick to the edge.
It gets a little thick. You just kind of got to roll with that. We're lucky to have this bear highway that we're on right now.
Wherever the bears have gone, that's really the only place that we can go. Which means we might just meet a bear on this trail.
There's some bear scat here on the ground.
Ooh.
So signs that the bears have been by.
Nuts.
We have no idea where we're going right now.
There we have a steep drop down and steep climb back up. But there is some Devil's Club down in the bottom of it. Don't touch that plant. It's got spikes and thorns all over on it. Watch your step.
In Katmai, you have to be on full alert. There's a lot of really scary animals out here, and one thing that we never really thought about, plants.
Alaska is just beating me up right now.
Poisonous plants.
And they're everywhere.
This is one of the plants that we want to make sure we don't touch with our bear skin. It's referred to as pushki here in Alaska. If you get the oils from this plant on your skin and expose it to the sunlight and the UV rays, it can cause extreme burns, blistering, blackening of the skin. It's bad.
There's literally chaos at every corner.
We're headed to a world-class beaver dam.
I'm down with seeing a beaver. Holy cow. There is no way that one single beaver all by himself built that.
You're correct. It was a family of beavers that puts this together.
This massive beaver dam has been decades in the making, and we're standing below it, and it's totally dry here.
So they just pile the sticks up in such a way that they kind of hold together, and they'll push some dirt in there, but the natural sediment helps pack in there along the dam as well.
Oh, I see him.
There he is, right there.
Wow. He sees us checking out his work. That's crazy.
It was pretty cool. It was awesome. He's paddling through, and you can just barely see his head, but you can tell he notices us, and he's just trying to defend his lodge.
Well, that's our cue. A beaver will slap its tail on the water as a warning to nearby beavers that danger is close. Time to get moving.
We want to get back to the coast.
But because this is wilderness, you never go on the same trail twice. I think even Brad is a little bit turned around.
You know, the funny thing we haven't even mentioned is there's bears out here, so.
So they say, right?
Yeah. As Brad has his bear flare in hand. He's trying to keep us calm, but he knows the truth. We're in bear country.
And if we had any doubt, we're greeted by some of Hallo Bay's youngest bear residents as soon as we hit the coast.
Go just up off the beach in the tall green grass, you'll see a brown dot. That's a sow with 2 yearling cubs.
Oh, yep.
We'll work a little bit closer down the beach so you can get a better look.
Okay. Alrighty. We got a bear, though. We got a bear. We got a few bears.
This is where all the food's concentrated. You got fish, you got clams out on the tidal flats, and you got some very nutritious vegetation that they eat that grows right along the coastal zone. So she's got to come feed herself and start teaching the cubs which foods to eat for themselves.
These little guys go from being able to fit in the palm of your hand to a 1,000-pound eating machine.
They do.
That's a lot of clams.
A lot of clams and a lot of salmon.
Look at those cubs. I know. She's stopping it. Come on. If you want to eat, you got to come with me.
They're raised solely by the mother. The mother-cub bond there is extremely strong, and she'll fight to the death to protect them.
It is one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life.
Now I know where they get the term bear hug from, because you just want to go up there and give them a big hug.
Don't.
I know.
Do not do that. That would not be good.
I know. One of the most important things to remember in Katmai is to keep a safe distance of 50 yards or more between you and a bear.
But sometimes it's the bears who break the rules.
We got a bear walking right towards us, so we're gonna stay put. We're not gonna make sudden movements, and we're not gonna talk loud. Let this guy go past.
We trust Brad, and when we see him pick up his flare gun, we know that this is a serious situation.
We're on the Pacific coast of Katmai National Park in Alaska, where a huge bear has just decided to check us out.
Brad has gathered us all together, and we're staying as a tight group. This is a big bear. This is not a small bear, so we're gonna stay put. We're not gonna make sudden movements, and we're not gonna talk loud.
Luckily, this guy is more interested in heading up the trail than inspecting us.
Basically, even when you see the bear move out of the way, you don't want to initially just go right back to what you're doing. Just give it a little space and look at the mountains for a little bit.
Katmai National Park certainly lived up to its promise of getting us up close to wildlife. It was an awesome adventure.
So what was your favorite part?
It was definitely the bears.
Honestly, for me, it was just trekking Alaska. Being in one of the largest national parks, it puts things into perspective that we're just these tiny little creatures in such a massive landscape. If I could take one thing away from this, it's that preparation is key. Like, we need to work on that.
I think we learned that the hard way on multiple occasions.
I'm really bummed that we're leaving.
It almost makes it even harder to leave when you turn around in back of you and you can still see a family of brown bears.
But, you know, when the tide's out, you kind of got to catch that flight out of here.
We learned a lot about bears and ourselves on this trip. We're not experts, but if we can do it, so can you.
So the next chance you get, go out and rock the park.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Make sure to leave any questions or comments that you have.
And please subscribe to the channel. There's a lot more to come.